Hello, everyone. Hopefully, everybody can hear us. Welcome to essentially a Star Jump station. We're going to have a few of these over Invictus launch week, so hopefully you can hear us okay. I'm here with fellow Star Jump founder, Star Jump Bender. Ender.
And Star Jump Scrim is with me as well. Nice to see you, Scrim.
We've actually not been drinking. It's just that it's 12:10 in the afternoon and we don't usually stream at this time. Hello, chat.
Usually not even awake at this time.
That's true. Hello, chat. Hope you are well. Thanks for joining us. Sorry about that long hold time. We were waiting until SCL wrapped. I already know I'm going to have YouTube comments saying, keep this crap on Twitch. There's a 20-minute load time before you even start talking. I get one every single time a YouTube stream is posted, and it's before I have time to trim it. So hopefully everyone was able to sit through that. Some interesting information through the Star Citizen Live. But first and foremost, Ender, it's been a while, buddy, since we've been on a station stream together.
It really has. It's nice to be back. Yeah. Well, I've been going to school. I finished up school on the 2nd, so 15 days ago.
Right.
And now I'm working towards getting into film editing, video editing full time. That's been time consuming. Luckily, I have been able to raise money for St. Jude in spite of that fact.
Yeah.
Thanks to your help. By the way, and VMXEO, if he's in the chat.
Not doing much. You're really on top of it, my friend.
Well, I'm doing what I can, but I will mention the help that was given was from Grim and VMXEO. We have let me get the donation link for you in a minute, but we have an incentive.
Yeah.
And that incentive is for a $500 donation. This goes directly to St. Jude, by the way. I just want to clarify that for everyone. This only goes to St. Jude. But for a $500 donation, you can customize any ship in the Fleet Viewer. Yeah. You get a primary, secondary, and tertiary. You can also put a logo on it, and Grim has all of that set up. I've got the questions for it. Bingo says you're a little too quiet, Grim.
Am I too quiet? Okay, let me give myself a little boost here. It's probably G-Hub. It's probably Logitech G-Hub. We already
likely.
We already know the culprit here. It's the same thing it always is when I'm too low. There it is. Mic gain turned down. How's that, everyone? I'm probably much better.
You are much better, even just for me.
I don't understand why G-Hub does that. I do not get it.
Every time.
Everyone
never
in chat.
fails.
Miss Titan this season, chat. Miss Titan, we got to catch up again soon. Titan. It's been a while.
Yes, we do.
I know we got off track with our sort of discussions, but we will get back to that. Life got in the way. You know how it is. We still love you. I hope you're doing well. Yep. Everyone, chat. Bingo's there. A shout out to Bingo. Bingo will be Bingo will be at Equinox. I'll be at Equinox. It's gonna be a good time. Bingo's gonna help out with the booth. Bingo's gonna be Ender's proxy. This year at Equinox. So shout out to Bingo. And so will Art. Art's in chat too. Sorry, Art, didn't see you there. Art will be also helping me out and being the proxy.
I'm Ender. So jealous that I don't get to go now.
Yeah, it's going to be an awesome booth. I got to tell you, it's going to be awesome. I will say there's some cool Star Jump swag that I haven't even told you about. I'm going to be bagging all that up and sending you a swag bag. And
if you can talk in Shadow into sending me some swag too.
I will. I'll talk to him. Okay, so everyone, it's going to be kind of a short stream today. This is more for us to say hello to you again, give the big old double salutes. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope you're all excited for Invictus starting. Today is the day. It starts. Here we go, sort of thing. It's kind of an interesting lead off to Invictus because it's a multi-manufacturer day, but we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. I'm going to switch us over to our 2-window view here. You can kind of see over on this side we have 4 manufacturers being featured today. We have Robert Space Industry, RSI, obviously a big one leading off today, Origin Jump Works, Consolidated Outland, and of course Argo I always want to say Argo Aeronautics. It's Argo Astronautics, which is a weird word. I guess that's a real word.
Such a weird. Is it a real word? Hold on, I gotta look this up.
I don't know.
Astronautics.
Yeah, see if that's real.
Let's
confirm that.
It's a company.
Okay.
and it could also be cosmonautics. So yeah, it's a real thing. Yeah,
right, we'll go with it.
I don't like it. Spacecraft beyond Earth's atmosphere.
Okay. I don't like it, but we'll go with it. So real quick, let's just go ahead and dive right in because again, we do have a lot to kind of cover here. So the website's not fully loading, and I don't really know why that is. So everyone might just need to bear with me why it's not loading. I don't know. But obviously the big thing with RSI is going to be the Ursa Medevac. I do have its page pulled up here. Gosh, the website's really being not great with me today.
I think it's just getting hit because it's not loading for me.
Okay, is it not loading for you? Okay, so, but what we may be able to do is, okay, here's some stuff popping up. Ursa Medevac, let's see if the prices are coming up. At the very least, okay, they are, along with some paints. And Ursa Medevac coming in for 55 war bond and $60 for the non-war bond version. I guess I wanted to throw it right to you specifically with this ship because you have a big interest in medical gameplay. There was an interesting medical change that was just announced, we'll get into that. But let's just talk about the Ursa for a minute. Is this something you're interested in? Does this complement your Galaxy medical setup well? Because we know the Galaxy has a vehicle lift. What are your thoughts on the Ursa medical?
I like the price. I like the look of it, and I like what it does. It's a tier 3 med bed, so it's essentially just going to be great to have in the fight. But it's also a good use so long as in the future the medical system is more thought out and we're able to do surgeries and stuff on the Galaxy. Otherwise, really, the Galaxy doesn't serve a heavy purpose, but I think that's going to be something that we just have to get some information from.
Well, you brought it up, so let's go ahead and finish that line of thought here.
Yeah,
There's a med bed change. Now, it's been changed. Well, I don't want to say changed because CIG's got a different narrative, but apparently CIG is saying that now they finally brought what they always intended to bring to med beds, which is that all med beds can respawn in the game. Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3. I don't remember it being that way. Ender doesn't remember it being that way, but CIG is saying it was always planned to be that way. So let's just go with that for a minute. Let's play devil's advocates. Let's just go with that. With that, you just brought up the point, though, Ender, that I think they need to address soon to get ahead of this. And this could really solve all the problems for me. We need to know that Tier 2 med beds bring real benefits other than just a shorter respawn distance, and that Tier 1 med beds bring even bigger benefits. And you bring up full-on surgery, cybernetics, and all that stuff, which we know is coming. We know that's part of Actor Status Tier 2, which has been in development. CIG just said that Death of a Spaceman is coming, possibly even sooner than we thought. So the question is, if they do that, if they take that path with Tier 2 beds and Tier 1 beds, would that put you in a better kind of thinking state on this like med bed respawn change?
Say that one more time.
Would you be okay with the fact that all tier beds respawn now, as long as CIG announced what the plan is for the Tier 2 and Tier 1 med beds to do more, right? To offer more gameplay, surgeries and cybernetics and all that stuff?
It's really dependent on what they're talking about for Death of a Spaceman.
Yeah.
Like you said, I really don't remember this conversation ever having been. And I remember us having a medical conversation a while back. It was never, Tier 1, 2, and 3 beds are all going to do respawn. I never knew that.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I would have said I don't like it back then because medical has to be thought out. Medical has to be fleshed out.
Yeah.
So the 1 and 2 beds respawning, if you respawn and don't have an arm or a leg, right? How are you going to get that fixed? They need to come out and tell us something soon, I think.
What I think would be cool,
to get ahead of it.
I think it could be really cool though, if even just beyond cybernetics, like replacing a permanently damaged limb. It would be cool if the tier ones offered something even beyond that, which could be, think like Elysium. Remember that Matt Damon movie? Think like if the tier one med beds didn't just healed you, but could also give you like just straight up enhancements, right?
That would be cool.
Like cybernetic implantments. Like, for example, cybernetic implantments in your legs, you can run a little faster than everyone else. Whatever the case may be. Or maybe they can do some cybernetic enhancements that allow you not to be as affected by G-forces or whatever. To me, you do that.
It makes a little sense.
At that point, I'm totally fine with the tier 3 beds doing respawning. Because
as long as I really hope that they make it so that you have to have somebody there working that med bed.
Yeah.
That's really the only thing that makes sense, because if I can just do it myself, I don't know. It almost relegates medical gameplay to just you don't need to worry about it.
So I will say I agree. Ursa $55, $60 full price, not bad again, especially for the power it's bringing. Again, the ability to respawn anywhere. It's the only ground vehicle that does that. I think that's going to be really impressive. Obviously, the paints are pretty cool. They come in at about $3 War Bond or $5 standalone. Well, that's $5 for a pack. Okay, so yeah, the paints are all kind of normally priced. The paints look good. I mean, there's nothing really surprising about this vehicle. We knew it was coming. We've known it was coming for a while. It's a C8R on wheels, so I wouldn't say there's anything like fundamentally like shocking about this. Now, going back to the RSI page though, and I'm going to try to reload it to see if the site loads now. It doesn't. So, but we're still getting some information. Here's the big one, is that they say for the Polaris, this is the last chance at its current price. Our first confirmation that the ship will go up in price when it goes flight ready on during the IAE event, which CIG just announced during SEL. The Polaris will go flight ready at IAE. That's a big deal. The ships was first announced in 2017, so what, that's 7 years, am I right? 7-year-old concept, old concept, finally going flight ready at IAE. Where do we think this price is going to go, Ender?
$950.
$950. That's exactly what I'm thinking.
My genuine guess is $950, $955. I'm not often correct, but I will toot my horn. I was spot on for whatever they are, the Mirai pulses. Yeah. So maybe I'll do it again, but I'm thinking $950 for the Polaris.
Starlet's
makes sense for the size of the ship.
Starlet's saying $850. Which would be $100 tack onto it. I think
that could be for credit. I think we could be looking at that $100 difference for credit.
That's a great point. I could see that too. I could see the War Bond being $850 and then the credit version being $950 or something like that. Yeah. I could also see, if they do come in at $850, what I see them doing to maximize sales is, if they do come in at $850, what I see is I think you'll see a bunch of pack options. So there'll be paint options to increase the spend, but I guarantee you we're going to have an option that comes with a Scorpius, and then an option that comes with a Scorpius and a Rover. You're going to have any and all those in between. So they're going to cover all their bases and maximize the spend on the Polaris. So, but again, interesting, because it's the first time we're seeing that announcement of, hey, this is the last chance you're going to get this at the price. They obviously are advertising ships. We got the Apollo Medevac being advertised, Apollo Triage at their normal prices, the Aurora, Constellation, Andromeda, Aquila, Phoenix, kind of the usual ones. The Phoenix will be the whole limited sale later today. I think there's a wave. I think a wave just happened, and then there'll be a wave later today and one like late tonight if you're on the East Coast of the United States. I'm not a big fan of the Connies myself, so I'm not going to be looking into that whole limited
Connies
sale.
are my favorite. Everybody knows the Connies are my favorite. I love the Constellations. They're just the greatest.
I do think, nothing surprise. Well, let's talk about this. So Perseus, $675. I do think we're going to see some Perseus sales this event, only because people know it's eventually coming in the pipeline. CIG stated 100%. Polaris, Galaxy, Perseus. I think there'll actually be a lot of overlap with the Galaxy and Perseus development. So I see them selling the Perseus.
We'll see them very close together, or if not close together, we're going to see the Galaxy come out at Invictus launch week next year, and the Perseus come out at I can't think of the other one, CitizenCon.
Also, hey everyone in chat. I know we've had some hellos. Sorry, we've been chit chatting here, trying to blast through some stuff. Salute to you all. Hope you are well. Now the Perseus though and I'm sorry the website's not loading, everyone. I think it's just getting hit real hard right now. But $675 for the Perseus. Now the funny thing is, I don't think we'll see a big price increase on the Perseus when it goes flight ready. It could go to $700, but I think it's going to stay where it mostly is.
I think so too.
It's already priced high for what it is, and I don't mean that to denigrate it, but it's a very focused ship. Where the Polaris kind of does a lot of things. It's got like some cargo. It's got a hangar to carry a fighter, torpedoes. It can act as a mobile HQ. All this stuff. The Perseus is a gunship. That's what it does. That's all it does. It's 100 meters long. It's a very focused ship, and $675 I think is the top.
Yeah, its competition is already in the same price. As much as I hate to say competition for the ships, they've directly created the competition with this one.
Yeah, they did. They kind of pushed that.
Competition is the Hammerhead, and it's in the same price point. Yeah. I think it would be bad for them to bump this up to $750, $800, because people are just going to go, well, why wouldn't I just go ahead and get the Hammerhead?
Yeah, right. I agree. I think
that's going to stick around the same price.
I will say more and more that I do think, and I say this even over ships like the Polaris, which it does look like the Polaris got a crew decrease. It's now being listed in the XML, which I take with a grain of salt, but listed as a max crew of 12. It used to be 16, so I think they brought that down a little bit. Now, one thing I'll say about the Perseus is I do think out of the, let's call them large ships, because I consider anything above 70 meters to be in the large category. So like 70 meters to like 150 meters is large.
Yeah.
Perseus for a large ship has the single best crew numbers out there.
Hands down.
Very limited crew count for a ship that's going to punch probably above its weight class a little bit. So let's see. Lillian asked a question. If CIG stays with the RSI ships and does the Perseus and Galaxy next year, realistically, are the Genesis, Orion, Endeavor 26, 28? We don't know, Lillian. I mean, again, I think as Squadron 42 releases, when that eventually releases, we're going to still see migration over into ship teams. I think their ship teams are going to grow. What I think is it depends on what manufacturer they move on to next. If MISC is the manufacturer they move to after RSI, I actually think they possibly could, if not put the Endeavor into production, I could see them at the very least reconcept it. And here's the thing, now that modularity is online, there's nothing holding up the Endeavor anymore other than the gameplay loops. But there's also nothing to say they can't do exactly what they're doing with the Retaliator and just release the modules that do have gameplay loops with the Endeavor at that time. They don't need to release the entire master set. The Endeavor is just a modular ship. That's all there really is to it. So now that modularity is figured out, there's nothing technically holding it back. And I know John Crew made that statement that, it'll be the last ship made. That's an old statement. There's a lot that's changed. That could totally different. To be honest with you, all it takes is Chris Roberts saying, hey, let's focus on the Endeavor. I mean,
let's get it done. Yeah, that's all it takes.
Do I think the Endeavor is coming out anytime soon? No, but I'm just saying that I don't buy into all these statements that are made like 7 years ago and that they're somehow still true today. CIG obviously has changed things. So Perseus, so that's RSI. We're not going to spend too much longer on it. But again, I think the big thing here is to, if you're wanting a Polaris, this is apparently the last time you're going to get it, $750. Obviously, if you're interested in a Polaris for cheaper, you can reach out to me. I don't know if any are still available, but it's always something you can do.
I will say, somebody asked, isn't the Liberator the smallest crew size for a large size ship?
Maybe.
And I mean, it says Min 1 Max 2, but I got to be honest, I don't think that's the numbers that we're going to have at the end of the day. I think that you're going to need more people for turrets, which is automatically 2 people for turrets.
Yeah.
Another 2 maybe for engineering, and then you've got to have your refuelers, your people who are running around. You're going to have more than 1 to 2 people in that Liberator.
And I think here's a way to look at that too, is that the Liberator is what it is. It's a flotilla to carry ships. So for you to be able to use it to its actual gameplay usage, people need to be landing on it. There's a more complicated thing. The Perseus is more of a self-contained thing. You put a crew on it, you go out, you do your business. With the Liberator, you really need to be carrying other people's ships or your own. You need to have people to move those ships and all that. So I agree with you. The Liberator is also very efficient with its crew size. But in terms of a self-contained gameplay experience, the Perseus is still, in my opinion, the simplest crew requirements for a ship. Because even the Liberator is going to require some interaction with other players and or people beyond just your crew. You know what I mean?
Yep. VG, not according to the RSI website. I'm looking at 2 turrets on there, but and it might be actually 3 turrets, but we'll go with 2.
Let's continue moving along here for the sake of time.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, Origin's the next one. Nothing really here to pay attention to. It's the same normal Origin offerings. They are listing the G12A, which is the military variant of the G12. I will say there's definitely been a lot of rumblings regarding the G12 coming very, very soon. I wouldn't shock me, actually, if the G12 either gets added to a 3.23.x patch or a 4.0 patch. It would not shock me, just based off some stuff I've been hearing. But again, that's about it for Origin. We're not spending a lot of time on that. Consolidated Outland. I know the Mustang Delta, the Mustang Delta, I think, is on offer, which is kind of its only military-based offering. The Pioneer will not be sold during Invictus and its limited hull wave because it's not a military ship. It's obviously a heavy industrial capital ship. If you were interested in Pioneer, you can definitely pick one of those up at IAE or I totally forgot. Does CitizenCon have hull limited sail waves? I can't remember. Or is it just IAE? I literally can't remember. I've got old man brain.
I think just IE.
Okay. So there'll be one other chance.
I think it's too close together for them to do it. That would be, IE and ILW. It would be too close together. What's up, Ruben? It'd be too close together for IE and then also CitizenCon.
Right.
They would be crazy to do that.
Now, what I will say in regards to the Pioneer and the Galaxy, also not on sale right now, it's not a military ship, is I do see at IAE SitCon there being a lot of people picking those up. I think people,
absolutely,
because by then we're going to hear a little bit more about base building because it's going to have been in development for most of the year. I personally, and I could be wrong, but I personally think base building is going to be a key requirement for Star Citizen 1.0. I think that's going to be one of the gameplay loops they're going to want in there. Not a completely finished version of it, but at least a rudimentary version of it where you can build at least large and under outposts, maybe not the extra large, but regardless, people are going to buy the shit out of the Pioneers and the Galaxy. So let's go to Argo. Let's talk about this one for a minute. So with Argo, we do have a new ship, the MPUV Tractor, which I'm showing here. This is the ship. The funny enough thing with this one, and Ender, I'd be curious your take on this, but I want to talk on this one for a minute, only because I bought the SRV.
You did.
And I think I got the SRV, but what I really probably need to do is melt that for this little thing.
I think so. Because
the SRV, I think, really is being positioned as the tow ship, where this is the box mover ship. I hate it because I like the Argo SRV better in terms of looks. but you know,
I'll actually counter that.
Okay.
You don't need the box mover, right? Yeah, you can do it yourself, save a little cash, right? But you can pay a fleet of these guys,
right,
to go ahead and load up your stuff. And that SRV is still going to be useful for you because you're going to be able to tow with another one, the larger ships out of, and you got it really for your Kraken, right?
Yes.
So
that's true.
You don't need your Kraken. You don't need your Kraken stuck in space, and you don't need to pay 2 people to do it. You can just pay 1, save that money, send me out, or let me get in the pilot seat of the Kraken.
And before people say anything,
drag us out.
Yeah, and before people say anything, I do know that a single SRV will not lift a Kraken. I already know that, but it'll help. And, having one on the deck wouldn't be a bad thing. Also, real quick, I saw Lillian say that's worth noting the 325A is actually useful in the current balancing of master modes. I did watch a couple of videos on that, on ships, on like the best combat ships for master modes, and it looks pretty unanimous that shockingly the 325A is like the best. I will say that based off everything I've seen, though, that you need to be a pretty damn good combat pilot to get that type of efficiency out of the 325A. But if you are one of those people that has to have the current meta ship, I'm not one of those people, but if you currently are one of those people, then you might want to look at Origin for that. So
just keep in mind, you're going to buy it, and then it's not going to be meta next week. So
I mean, and they're saying it exactly how it is. I mean, we don't have Maelstrom, we don't have armor, we don't have all the different. We don't have all the different types of weapons coming online. We know that they've developed incendiaries, EMP weapons. This was all on the progress tracker. We don't have them yet, but we don't know how all. We don't have resource management, fire hazard. We don't know how all this stuff's going to.
We just don't know about. That we need to. Eventually.
So let's look at the price of this tractor module, because I'm curious where this is landing. $35. Honestly, I'm glad it's no more than that, because that'd be ridiculous.
If it were any more than that, I'd be. And even that's at the top of the price I would have expected for it.
Agreed. I will see
if it were any higher, I'd be a little pissed off.
I agree. It starts to feel a little. I mean, 35 is even pushing it for this ship. I personally would say 25. I think the pulses. Honestly, the pulses were 25, but in my opinion, they should have been 15. I think CIG needs to embrace some super low cost stuff. CIG needs to embrace that.
Yeah.
Like, they need to have some $10, like these little grab led bikes. I think they should be $10. I know it seems cheap, but they'll sell a shit ton of them.
They will.
Starlet says, do you guys know the difference between the Cargo and the 1T? Not really. Well, maybe they say it in the Q&A here that's not loading. And I apologize, everyone. The website's not loading. Ender broke it. Oh, no, wait. It didn't have here.
I'm sorry.
Let's see. Do they have specifically... I'm kind of looking here if they have anything regarding that. So Starlet brings something up, and Starlet, I don't know if you want to put it in the chat, but obviously there's some changes coming to how the Retaliator base and its modules are represented from a value perspective in your hangar, and that's probably a whole show to talk about that. But in regards to the MPUV, what I was hoping they would do is change it to a base version with all the modules, and then whichever one you owned, you got the base and the module, and the value of those still equaled what the value was you put in it, right? So Rex says, SEL mentioned today that MPUV will require another type of modularity versus the current one that was released with the Tally. Oh, interesting. So there must be a difference between modularity then that's internal and external, which is really interesting.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, because
you've got hard points that need to be swapped for external.
Because the Galaxy, and it's kind of weird though, because the Galaxy is kind of like the Retaliator in its modularity. But what's weird is it does affect the exterior of the ship, because the Galaxy, some of its modules have elevators that come out of the bottom. And, you know what I mean? And so it does.
It does, but if you look at how they're doing the modularity, it's a piece slipping into the bottom, right? So that elevator is probably built into that piece. Whereas with like the MPUV, if you were to do external modularity, you're looking at, you have to change hard points, or everything has to work off of one hard point, which would be difficult to do.
So here's my question to you then, Ender. Is it odd that, let me go back to something with some imagery. Is it odd that they well, no, and I guess it's here's why. Because originally I was thinking, why release this ship right now then? Wait till that modularity's done, and then re-release the MPUV as a different package, right? But then I just got to thinking, they're bringing on these personal hangars with manual cargo loading in a 3.23.x patch. This is why we're getting this ship. Okay, got it. Okay.
Now, I could tell you, doing external modularity on this wouldn't be too difficult if they did it as almost an attachment. That piece that's on top there that looks like it could be a hatch right behind the God, it's like in the center of the ship. I wish I could point it out.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about.
That could be an exactly. That could be an attachment point that allowed you to cover and uncover certain modules or place hard points on where that external modularity would be possible at that point.
Yeah.
That's something that they could do, but maybe they just didn't want to do it. I'm not real sure.
By the
I
way,
don't know. I do think that's how they should have done it, though.
I'm just also going to say, too, that one of the paints for this is a yellow and black. I'm just going to tell you, all industrial ships need to have yellow and black as a paint job.
I agree.
Just saying it. Just saying it.
Agree.
Okay? Needs to be done. Okay, so Argo MPUV, they do have a Q&A for, not going to go through all this now. You all can read through this. Let's go back to our Invictus, our main page though here. Obviously I was going to see if they had anything else listed here. Let's go back to the schedule. Oh, no, I wanted to talk a little bit about the Firebird. Did you watch the Inside Star Citizen yesterday, Ender?
I did. I finally went back and watched it this morning while I was up at 3 o'clock.
What do you think of the Aegis Firebird? We'll probably talk more. I just want to talk first impressions here. As someone who does do combat from time to time.
I do. It's a nice ship.
Mm-hmm.
I do think it's almost redundant for Aegis, in my personal opinion.
Right.
But I feel like it almost feels like CIG wanted to be able to sell the Raven without selling the Raven, because I don't think they're allowed to sell that Raven.
And then on SCL, they just announced another variant coming of the Raven, which I'm assuming is
see that.
So they mentioned there is another variant coming, and they said it's the variant everyone was guessing. I'm thinking it's the QED variant.
Yeah, the QED variant would make sense. In fact, I was surprised that they made another torpedo boat with the Firebird.
So we only have two now, right? Is it the Talon Shrike and the Firebird?
Yeah. Okay. Two missile boats
of this size, because obviously there's other ships that carry a shit ton of missiles.
Yeah, absolutely. But two missile boats of this size.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just, me personally, Graham, the reason I'm so about it is they took the design language of the Saber Raven, which is a gorgeous ship.
Yeah.
But they took out the parts that made it interesting. The two holes in the wings really made that thing pop and interesting.
Its silhouette definitely changed, for sure.
It changed quite a bit. And to be honest with you, I'm just not a missile spammer.
Right.
So what they've done is they've given us another ship that will allow people to just fire and forget as many missiles as possible and be okay with it.
Right.
Which is, that's fine. That's how some play, but I'd rather take you out with my guns and feel good about it. Use a missile to steer you and take them out.
Yeah.
They will eventually, Reese. They will eventually.
Real quick here, because again, it's not a long stream tonight. For those of you that do not know, I'm going to switch back over to our window here. Bear with me, everybody. Bear with me. There's that. I'm going to pop this up again, courtesy of VMXEO, our Polaris orbit. Do not forget that on the show floor, the Polaris is on for RSI Day, to make sure you go check that out. Me and Ender are going to go check it out together tonight and do the Idris tour. Very excited about doing that with my good friend Ender.
Yes.
I've never been on board the Idris ever.
Not in
game.
Which one did we have? No, you know what? I haven't, because it was the Javelin that they let us tour a couple of years back.
Yeah,
correct?
we got to tour one corridor and the
one corridor. Yep.
And I am
stupid excited to go.
And I have the Javelin interiors as a 3D file, and I've looked all through it. It's massive. I mean, there's a basketball court. There's a basketball court in the ship. So I'm just like, what is all this stuff doing? But anyways, don't forget to go by the RSI Hall to check out the Polaris.
Yes.
Incredible. To me, it sets a new standard in ship development. If you're watching SCL today, they just said that the Zeus actually hit its load 0 review yesterday and sets an even newer standard for detail.
I can't wait.
It's incredible. I do think it might mean they need to go back and revisit some of these old ships.
Yes.
like the Idris, I think its exterior might need to be brought up, which is scary because I know they're trying to get that out for Squadron, but at least for the PU version, it might need an extra coat of detail. It's a very simple ship.
I mean, do it.
It might not get that, though, only because I do think the Idris has one of the most packed interiors of any ship.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Also, if you haven't, guys, go take a look. Grim streamed a couple of days ago, and then I think on Monday of this week as well. And Monday and Wednesday, is that correct, Grim?
Yes.
Either way, he talked about the Idris in depth, and it's super good. So go Polaris, back, watch the VODs. Polaris, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
The Idris. Go check it out. He talked about the Polaris in depth, and it is gorgeous.
Yeah. And real quick here,
Cutlass,
I will
Steel DS. No more Cutlass. No more Cutlass.
Someone was asking in chat, I missed it, sorry, about a piece on the Polaris model, asking if it was possibly a canopy shield. So I thought, you know what, I'll check that out right now. We have the Polaris model up here. I'll also go ahead and click. And this piece up here is not a separate piece, so I can pretty much guarantee that it is not any sort of door or anything. If I turn on the axes, you see it's all one big chunk. It's just referred to as the Polaris nose. I didn't see anything that showed there was any sort of canopy or anything on the Polaris. I think the idea behind the Polaris is it's the first in the fight. It launches its torpedoes and gets the hell out of Dodge. It's not sticking around long enough to get hit in its canopy. I think they're really trying to position the Polaris not to be a brawler. That's more the Perseus's role.
I was just about to say, I think that's where the Perseus comes in. The Perseus goes in, moves in for it, sets that groundwork out, and then lets the Polaris come in, fire off its rockets, and get the hell out of Dodge while it takes the shots. That's why it's going to be heavily armored. That's why it's got the blade on it. Because anything taking chase is going to get attacked by Perseus.
There of course will be some hidden panels on the Polaris. You can see right here, I can remove this panel right here, and that's what contains the size 3 quad turrets on the port and starboard side. And then like the docking collar doors, which everyone was concerned about on the Polaris, that's actually got 2, more than we thought. Those are hidden behind doors as well. So there'll definitely be a lot of that stuff. But again, you interested to go and see Polaris, go check it out yourself on the RSI show floor all day today and tomorrow. Again, this was just a quick stream to say hello to everyone. We're well. We hope you have a great Invictus. If you see us in game flying around, send us a friend request. And if you're ever in the game and need any help, definitely look up any of the Star Jump people. We're always happy to help. Another thing I'll say too is that I know we tend to do it during Invictus or IE, depending. We don't always do it every year, but one thing we always kind of talk about doing is getting a little like ship fly going on.
Yeah, I'd love to do that.
Yeah, maybe we can do that tonight or tomorrow or something like that. We'll work it out. But if you're on our Discord, we will definitely send out a general message and pin it if we're planning on doing that, and we'll usually give like an hour or 2 hour lead time, and we'll meet up on each other. So that being said, Ender, before we close it out, did you want to mention anything about the Tiltify link?
I do if I can. So I'm going to post our quick. I'm going to post this link first. So Tiltify, guys, I'm raising money for St. Jude. We are raising money for St. Jude. To date, I'm actually bringing up a website real quick. To date, we have raised I want to say $13,000 for St. Jude.
It's amazing.
In the last 3 years. I'm bringing up my website real quick. I'm sorry. Where the heck is it? Tiltify. There it is. Celebration Station. Ender, Star Jump. There we go. 12,958 for St. Jude. On Tiltify alone, we have raised 15,000 and change. This month or this year, we've raised $3,015 for St. Jude. Our current goal is $3,500. If we hit $5,000 for St. Jude, I will be doing the 1 sour chip challenge. Last year, I did the 1 chip challenge, and it was hell on earth for about 30 to 35 minutes.
Didn't those get banned?
Well, they probably did, yeah.
I thought, seriously, I think
They're
did.
fucking hot. The sour chips aren't as bad. I think they put the sour chip out because the one chip challenge might have gotten banned. Oh God, I almost threw up twice. I kept it all down and I didn't drink anything for 30 minutes. And
can I speak on that? I remember you doing that, and you were streaming, and it was kind of earlier in the stream. Like, I don't know if you had hit the halfway point, and then all of a sudden you were like, "And I've got to go," and I was like, "Oh no, oh no, something is wrong."
It was for that reason. I was like, "I got to go, guys." Yeah, no. Someone probably did just die from the one chip challenge. You gotta be, it's rough, but I made it. I did it.
Oh, okay. Aurelius says a kid of 14 did die. Oh, that's terrible. That's really sad. But again, some of these foods, I mean, they're intense, and I've seen some of these foods bring grown men to tears. So
for just to let everybody know, I am not doing the one chip hot challenge. I am doing the sour chip challenge. Yeah. I will never do the one chip challenge again. It was terrible.
Yeah, sorry to hear about that kid. I remember that now. I'd forgotten about that. That's terrible for that family. Ugh.
That is a shame.
But yes, did you? And you posted that Tiltify link, Ender?
I didn't. I am now. There's the Tiltify link now. For this, guys, if you want to get your ship, if you want to get a custom ship in the Starjump Fleet Viewer, all you got to do is, hello. I'm trying to copy it and paste it, but I can't. All you have to do is go to this link that's being posted. If Grim didn't beat me to it, he did. There it is. And you can get a custom ship livery. I would suggest getting together with an org unless you just have it like that. It is a $500 donation to St. Jude. This money all goes to St. Jude. And just to let everybody know what the money's going towards, 20 years ago, survival rates for specific types of cancer in children were about 20%. That means that 80% passed away. Some of the survival rates were 0%, or close to. 20 years later, because of what St. Jude's doing, because of the work that they are doing, it is currently 80% in those that were 0%, and it is in the 90s for the stuff that was 20%. Okay, so they are doing amazing work. I got to tour their campus. I cried quite a bit while I was there. I hope to go back next year, and I hope to do it all over again because it was an amazing experience, and it's so good to see where the money's going and what they're doing with it, and to see who these donations are affecting.
And then I've got the Lisa. I've got the Lisa 600i up for reference here, talking about this stuff, the custom ship stuff, and.
You can customize your ship. You get a primary, secondary, and tertiary. You can also put a logo on there. That is one that we did for.
And it's for a great cause. And we've already got quite a few people who have bought into it. And again, it's for a great thing.
There are two currently left. Tell your friends, tell your org. Maybe your org wants to get together. We've so far had 2 orgs and 3 people. So feel free to tell your org, get with them.
Yeah.
And also, VG, that is correct.
Yeah. So real quick, too, if you don't mind me tapping on, okay, got all that out. Again, very important, everyone. We will have some additional ILW streams, especially on big days, where we talk about the day stuff, and we're going to keep pushing this again, trying to do as much as we can through the month of May. Now, real quick, if you are going to be at Equinox, or if you're going to be in Columbus on June 1st, try to go to Equinox. I'm posting the link right here to buy tickets. I will be there. There'll be a Starjump booth. We're having all kinds of cool stuff, and you can see here the sign, which you can, by coming to the booth, you can also win a custom livery. There'll be a raffle. There's gonna be a raffle, just a single winner. And then after this charity push, and after Equinox, we probably won't have any custom liveries for a while to the next big charity push. We're trying to limit them so that they are special. If those of you that remember the early days of Fleet Viewer Project, remember that we did do them as a part of a Patreon thing to help fund the development, but we've since stopped. So this is kind of the only way to do it. Okay. But if you're going to be in and around Columbus June 1st, I would love to see you. There's going to be a big Star Jump booth. I'm actually going to go up on stage and talk about some stuff as well. So it'll be a cool thing. Definitely stop by the booth, say hello, all that kind of good stuff. Okay, that is about it. Kind of a quick stream today. Thanks for hanging out with us. I knew it wasn't going to be a long one. We just, again, wanted to say hello to everyone, remind everyone that we're still here, and to kind of wish everyone a great Invictus if you're hoping to get that ship you've been trying to get for years. It's a whole limited thing. Good luck with it. Good luck in the F5 wars. I know that gives a lot of stress to people, especially if you're buying something with credit and not Warbot. It's always a challenge. But for those of you hanging out with us today, thank you so much for your patience. Thanks for hanging out with us for such a short stream, and we will talk soon. We are going to raid someone who's doing a bit of stuff for Star Jump right now, and we are going to raid Angry PC Tech, our good buddy. So please give him some Star Jump love. Good dude. He's doing some really cool Star Jump stuff. So hopefully he is still streaming. So Ender, it's been fun, buddy. I will see you tonight as we walk the halls of ILW.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Have a good one. See you.
Have a good one, guys.